everybody. Welcome to All That Matters and Moika Malamududu.
And I'm Komiki, and welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. But before we dive right into it, Dudu and I have to give you guys a quick disclaimer and to let you know that the content we will be providing today is for informative, educational, and entertainment purposes. Yes.
Yes, guys, that the information, opinions, as well as recommendations provided by us should be by no means considered as medical or professional advice.
Yay.
So I'm just going to move my mic a bit. I just feel like my chest is a bit too much
all right.
out.
I literally nearly forgot that part of the disclaimer. So I'm just like, oh, thanks. You know, you saved one for me as well. So we both make mistakes today. We move on, guys.
But how are you?
I'm all right, my girl. How are you?
Girl, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, it's been a good week. I mean, we've got 3 months left and then the year's over, y'all.
Literally. And I think just like the last couple of months for the year, I think I'm just in a good space. I honestly believe like yoga did the things and it just moved me in a whole different direction. So I'm very grateful.
Right?
Yeah, shout out to Lungi.
Shout out to Lungi, actually, because I was also feeling a little bit tense and my periods were coming that week. So I'm so glad that I did that because my pain wasn't at least so bad.
Oh, that's good.
And I was like a little bit more relaxed. So yeah, guys, yoga is like a definite thing. Hey,
it is highly recommended.
Yeah.
But yeah, girl, you know, as we're about to get into it today, we're touching on anxiety. And our focus will be on generalized anxiety disorder, which falls under one of the disorders within anxiety, because with that, you know that you'll get panic disorder, you'll get adjustment disorder, and then there's generalized anxiety disorder. So I think for people sitting at home and, you know, probably you went over Google and you still don't understand, you're just gonna like quickly explain it to you and run it through, and then also just kind of share from what we know, you know, and take it from there. So
So I think the definition, I think we should start off with the definition. So anxiety is excessive worry that has a negative impact on your life and daily living. We obviously have to say daily living, guys, because obviously, like Dudu and I have probably mentioned before, if not, we're mentioning it now for the first time or again. If you have a disorder, it will actually have a very negative impact in your daily living. That means that you won't be able to function the way you normally do. You won't be able to do the activities such as going to work, maintaining friendships, maintaining relationships. And then you'll just basically want to be in a rut. And obviously we know that as a human being you have to get going, you have to push yourself, you have to try and achieve goals, you know, you have to try and figure yourself out. So then any disorder, you know, but then specifically with anxiety, you will definitely have excessive worry.
It's, you know, persistent worry. And it's not just like and one thing about generalized anxiety disorder is that it's persistent worry over so many things. You know, it doesn't have a sole or directed form of worry where you're attaching a particular worry or particular fear or, you know, or particular panic to a certain situation or experience, but it's brought out. You know, it could just be, for example, you being stuck in traffic and you're just like frustrated, or you being late. You get what I'm saying? Or it's just like little things. It's like these stresses that continuously build and build and build, which eventually leads to, you know, generalized anxiety disorder, and hence the name. It's general. You can't attach it to one thing. It's so many things happening all at once, and you're just in constant fear or in constant worry over those things.
And I think another thing that we should maybe also mention and touch on is traumas, guys. Like Dudu said, each and every single thing that happens every day can actually be a trigger. With you obviously getting anxiety, and also traumas, guys. Like people don't take traumas seriously, and I think we need to start taking them seriously. Just identifying what they are, what is my trigger, and how can I move forward and actually solve it, you know, and help myself. So I think trauma is definitely one of them, guys. And like everything, man, your work life as well can be one of a generalized anxiety disorder. You may feel as if though you want to do well and you're not progressing as well as you can. Relationships, friendships, family life,
or school, like just wanting to do well in school, you know, just pushing yourself. And one thing I liked about that you're touching on trauma, like we go back, guys. Trauma is literally the foundation of almost all mental disorders. You know, it stems from there. And I think as people, we don't go back and look at what's, you know, what hurt us or what's affecting us or how certain situations have affected us or how have they impacted our lives or changed our lives. You know, we don't do that. And I think it's time where we are now within society and how we are socially and the conversations that we are being exposed to on a daily, just to sit back and reflect
Yeah.
You know, or if you can't, if you feel like you can't do that, then at least go for cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yeah.
And just have those conversations with people, you know, have those conversations with therapists to figure out literally my patterns of behavior are so array. Because one thing about anxiety, guys, I know with me, it's like I've touched on, you know, it's a buildup of stresses, and it's so random. Like you'll get home and there's no electricity, and now you're so highly irritable, you're frustrated. Your coworker says something, and you're just like, if I do not, you know, it's you know, it's just those things where you just become easily angered. Because at some point, I think with people that have it and they haven't, you know, literally been diagnosed or haven't been aware of these patterns or change in moods, it kind of feels like maybe you short-tempered or you easily angered. But it's those things that you need to start asking yourself, like literally, why am I being like this? Why am I acting like this? You get what I'm saying?
And I love that you said that, because I think sometimes we associate anger with it's a characteristic trait, but in hindsight, actually, it's probably your brain just hiding that from the anxiety.
Yeah.
So sometimes, guys, like
a coping mechanism.
Yes. So sometimes maybe your brain doesn't necessarily know how to function or do a specific thing or feel some type of way. So then it will take out whatever reaction it first thinks of, or whatever reaction you first think of, then that's what will happen, you know. And I think anxiety can happen to anybody, guys. With children, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, with children, not necessarily, you know, but they obviously, like, I think maybe it'll happen a lot to a child when a child obviously goes through a lot more trauma. However, but once again, like we said, guys, the brain just does this funny thing where it can actually throw all that anxiety and trauma to your subconscious. Then it can only like arise once you're older. But I know definitely once we get to high school, it's the pits.
Yeah.
Once you leave high school, it's the pits. Then you get to your 20s, it's the pits, you know. So anxiety, I think generally from like high school onwards, it's ongoing.
It's ongoing. But I think with kids, it's also there. And obviously, you know, when they're looking at mental disorders, they don't literally focus on depression in minors or anxiety within kids.
Yeah.
And why I'm saying that is that if you've worked with an exposure to a particular event, if you've seen something traumatic, you know, that still lives with you. And you'll get kids who've been in car accidents where it's a fear.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I cannot. For instance, touching on the spectrum, if you look at adjustment disorder, which falls under anxiety, how kids whose parents have divorced, how they react, you know, it's a change in mood.
Yeah.
You find that the kids are no longer sociable, they distancing themselves, like you know, like people say hasamamela, but that's like a form of being anxious, you know. And obviously with us saying that, you also need to look at the time frame, you know. What's the difference? You know, what differs from anxiety and a panic attack?
Yeah.
Or, you know, a panic disorder? What differs from generalized anxiety and adjustment disorder? And hence it's those things, it's the months. Because with anxiety, the symptoms we haven't touched on, but we'll definitely get into it.
Yeah.
It's that with anxiety, with generalized anxiety, they need to last for more than 6 months and forthgoing.
Yeah.
Whereas with adjustment, then we know that because of that particular situation, like a divorce in the family, that particular individual is reacting like that. It's anxious feeling because of a situation.
Yeah.
Like
and then obviously panic attacks then would just be a shorter term. Obviously it just happens out of the blues, of which then maybe you're triggered by something, you know. And then all of a sudden you can't breathe, you feel anxious, now you're worried. So I like the fact that you broke that down and you you differentiated that, because it is true. But I get your point with children, you know.
Yeah, so I feel like it's just a wider board that we all get these feelings. It's just that some probably are not studied more.
Yeah.
But sorry, but I think it's a feeling that everyone has experienced in their life,
110%,
you know. And sometimes it could just really be good. Not like saying that generalized anxiety as a disorder is good, but feelings of anxiousness, you know, they just kind of keep you alive. But the minute those become frequent and they happen more than often, and it's about literally every small thing around you, like you being afraid to go out, and feeling like someone's gonna stalk you, you know, even though that has never happened, but that constant worry over things in your life or panic, and that's something that you need to look into, you know, and sit down and
I remember my lecturer was actually telling me, she was like, why do you feel so bad about being anxious? But I'm like, because it's bad. Like it's like it can be detrimental.
It's dreadful.
And then she was like, no. She's like, anxiety is good. It means that you have a gut feeling to want to push yourself. You want to do well. You know, you just in a space in your life where you're driven. You want to push. You know, but she's like, too much anxiety is a bad thing.
Too much.
She's like, just a little bit of anxiety is not bad, but too much, then it is a bad thing. You know. And obviously with the symptoms as well, one thing we also don't realize, I think, as adults actually, and the way we are so busy, we actually take symptoms such as sleeping disturbances or fatigue or not necessarily eating well.
Yeah, like digestive problems, you know.
I think we definitely do take those for granted.
Yeah.
And you may think, oh, there's nothing wrong. I'm just feeling, today, you know. I'll maybe eat healthier. Like, I'll get a salad tomorrow and then I'll be good. But if you actually, like, look at it properly, guys, it actually could be a few symptoms to being anxious.
Exactly. And my biggest one, I'd say, like, irritability, guys.
Yeah.
When everything irritates you, you need to figure out, why is everything irritating me?
Yeah.
You know, that's a good start. Like, why am I actually being... like, why am I going crazy? Like, it's not even that deep, because that's when you start realizing that actually something is not, it's not the people around me, but it's a me thing.
Yeah.
And you just need to sit down and be like, listen, if the things I can't control, I need to let them go, you know, and accept what I can. And I think that's the biggest thing, that people need to tell themselves everything. Like, if I can't control it, like, there's no reason for me to be angry, because man, we start feeling like people are coming for us when it's just our...
like they're not,
you know, it's just our anxiety playing tricks on us.
And with anxiety as well, right? I think another thing that we should touch on, like, which is very important, I feel, guys, is the physicality part of it. You will have muscle pain. You will have chest pain.
Your tension, Baba.
In the back.
The yoga did the thing, guys. I'm going to keep promoting Lungi. Can we please get her account? What is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, he'll just put it there. I just, like, literally, we forgot it, but it's going to be right there.
Yeah. Soho.
Yeah, girl. Good memory. Hi, girl. So, guys, please check her out. I mean, literally, it did. Like, guys, I'm not feeling tension. Hey.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes of the things that come from anxiety, I think for me, the biggest thing is, like, relationships, you know.
You think so, girl?
Yeah, relationships weigh me down. I'm like, not just, like, romantic relationships, but any form of bond just kind of feels like it just starts building up pressure, and there's a lot of things, and there's maintaining, and people are mad you're not responding, and then it's like, hey, and you said you promised. So that, like, literally, that just sometimes I'm like,
I hear you. I think for me, anxiety, dude, it's the pain, dude, like the physical pain, dude, like is painful and you don't know why, or you have stomach cramps, but you're like, wait, like, okay, well, for females, I can only talk for females, and to be like, but my periods are not coming, so, like, what's going
girl,
on?
speak for yourself. I don't get stomach cramps.
Yo, dude, or like a chest pain, or like a high man, like, it's not, and you don't know why.
Oh, you know which one's the worst? You know the sharp shooting pain? Have you ever, sometimes I think I've had an arrhythmia.
All the time, dude. And then now now worried, then you're like, I don't know what's going on. But back to what Duty said, guys, which is so important. And the guys, Melanie, please. She said it. Like, it's just your body and your brain and your reactions and your emotions, not necessarily knowing how to cope with it. So then the first thing it shoots out, for example, is, okay, I'm going to be angry. But you don't know why. But it's just an anxious feeling. That's just how your body is reacting to it.
And the thing is, people need to understand, our body will always response in fight or flight.
Yeah.
You know, those are the first, you know, emotions, or what is it, coping mechanisms that, you know, that come through.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. Other people would be to cry, you know, break down. I used to be that. I'm still that. I'm very emotional, guys. So it's, you know,
in the same boat. Noted.
So it's knowing that your body will either just, you know, break down and cry and feel like nothing is right and wallow and, child, it's like the worst.
Yeah.
Or you could literally be what other people may look at like angry, aggressive, you know, so Yeah, guys.
And then how to deal with all of this, because that was a mouthful that we said.
No, we did. And we are pretty talking fast. We never spoken this fast before.
But I like the fact that we touched on a lot. I actually didn't think that, when we were talking about it, Dudu and I just didn't want it to be like, oh, let's just state what are the symptoms. Let's just do this. Let's just do that. So I actually like that you and I went back to the drawing board and we actually came up with something that's, I think, a lot more sustainable and can be used as a point of reference, and we touched on everything. So whoever's more interested, then they can obviously use us as a point of reference and then go do more research on it. Yeah. How to deal with this?
Sorry, this juice is good.
Because we also had it was a mouthful as well. Hey.
It was.
How do we deal with this?
I think for me, like how you deal with isn't as me.
Yeah.
Guys, we have now in this day and age abantu abamnyama who practice psychology. If you feel like maybe if you're going to, you can't find the nearest one, but there's actually people that do speak ulimu lwakho. So I've always said it, therapy could never, cognitive behavioral therapy, not that I'm just preaching this out, could do so much, but there's also other therapeutic measures, like if dancing is a thing for you, if singing, if art, then definitely do that. Like, do what works for you.
Yeah, I also agree with that. I also think, guys, like one thing is like breathing techniques. We're going to go back to Lungi because it just ties in so beautifully with her. I think the one thing that's cool that we actually spoke about before and that she did with us, like, remember she's telling us, like, control your breathing, just control your mind, control the space that you're in. And I think that actually helps so much with anxiety, guys, because unfortunately you will feel like you are out of control. It will not feel real majority of the time, and you will feel like you're very crazy. And like Dudu was saying, guys, you could think that somebody's angry at me or things are piling up, but that's actually not even the case.
Exactly.
It's just you being too in your mind and losing control. So I would just say that just to take a breather sometimes, take a beat, guys, go to the bathroom, speak to a close friend, because I know we spend majority of our time as adults at work, actually.
Yeah.
Talk to a friend who you're comfortable with and just tell them, do your breathing exercises and your techniques. There's so many nice little charts that you can find online as well, where they can actually help you to do like breathing. And then obviously specific activities like yoga, guys, like go talk to an instructor. Like I'm dealing with this, trust me, nobody's gonna laugh at you, because chances are she's probably dealing with the same thing. And just tell her, like, I would like maybe to control my breathing, or is there anything you would recommend in order for me to go and maybe practice more of my anxiety? Because I mean, if we look at South Africa currently, I'm so sorry, like this is like a mouthful as well.
No problem.
Like not a lot of people have money or the means, to go to therapy. As sad and as disappointing, and as much as I do not want to say this, because I think that if you genuinely do have a problem and it has to do with your psyche, you need to go seek help. You need to talk to somebody,
But I just want to quickly change the narrative of that. I think in this day and age and what happened through the pandemic, guys, for us to continuously say that not a lot of people have money, we've seen those helplines that provide free help. Let's look into those, guys. Every community, even if it's a township community, guys, we have social workers. Let's utilize them. There's people there. There's organizations that have put themselves out there with the willingness to help. I mean, look at us. There's all that matters and more.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're going through much, you can always, ring us up, email us, DM us on Instagram, So I feel like there's always opportunities out there. There's always help out there. It's a matter of, am I willing?
For you, I guess, as well. Finding what works for you. And then like Tito was saying, obviously, guys, if there's a helpline and you don't want to be seen, or you want to be anonymous, I guess that can help. If you want to be seen, then you can go face to face, or if you want to help, then you can do an organization. So yeah, I just think that we need to encourage each other more as well,
True.
And to not feel so afraid. Like, we all have problems, guys. Like, we are all dealing with something. Like, we may sit just smiling, looking cute, but somebody's always dealing with something,
Yeah, guys, and self-love and just mantras, I think, just speaking to yourself on a daily is highly important. just saying, man, oh man, gumele, gukak. But I think just, just gathering your thoughts and having a conversation with you and having an understanding with yourself, your body, and everything else will just do you well, to self-introspect and self-reflect.
Yeah.
Yes, guys, thank you so much for joining and tuning in as we discussed anxiety. I hope this was helpful. If you'd just like us to explain something or get more into detail and depth with it, you can definitely email us at imatterandmore@gmail.com.
Yes, guys, please also like and subscribe on YouTube as well. Okay, All That Matters and More. And then on our Instagram page, Matters and More. Please do not hesitate to DM us. If you guys have any ideas that we could also help you guys with, I don't know, like hiking, or if you guys want us to show you the different techniques that can help you at home, or that can help you in a group setting, or I don't know, am I making sense? Like you and I did with the yoga. If you guys have examples like that and you would like to do and I to demonstrate and to try to find people so that we can do it so you guys feel more comfortable, then please don't hesitate. Let us know and DM us.
Yeah, and definitely, sorry to add on quickly, if there's topics that you guys would like us to venture into, we're very much open to that, guys.
Definitely.
And that's it from us. Don't forget to subscribe and share, guys. Yeah, that's it from me. Are you out?
Go, we're done.
Okay, bye.